Okay, so I'm going to record this so that this can go on to Class Dojo. Remember, guys, the expectation is that we're going to stay muted because I'm going to take the floor. So let's talk about some things we created today. First thing we created was the link to go into our classroom. And as you guys share your presentations with me, then I'm going to put them in here and then we can share them with our parents. Kind of like, okay, we did all of this work and now I'm going to show you what I learned how to do. This week's focus, what we did a lot was we focused a lot on building our Google slide. The great thing about this is we worked all year on reading comprehension and all year on using our Avid strategies. You guys made one-pagers. You guys did graphic organizers. You guys did a lot of stuff in class. So this kind of our finale is that we can create a presentation or a Google slide about anything that we learned. So some of the rules I gave you guys on Tuesday were this. You got to pick your layout. You got to pick how your slide was going to look. The only thing I wanted on slide 1 was your title, how I use my 5 senses, and your name. As you see, How I Use My 5 Senses by Mrs. Janelle Eastland. Same thing I expect on yours. Your first slide must have your title because that's how I'm going to know what I'm learning about. And then who wrote it. I'm not going to know if it doesn't have your name that it's just you that wrote it. I chose to put a transition in mind. So this presentation is all about how I use my 5 senses. This little icon with the little circles is a transition. Now, I can change the transition I want by clicking the transition button in my menu bar. Now for here, I put a transition on here. So the transition I picked was to appear on the click and it can go fast. Now by sliding this either slow, medium, or fast can go how fast my transition is going to change. Now let's say I don't want it to appear anymore. I can say, okay, I want my transition to fade in. So now my transition is going to fade in on a medium kind of row that I want. Now, if I'm not clicking, it may go slow. It may go fast. Now, I don't want it to fade in on a click. I want it to fade in after the previous slide. So now watch that. So once I'm done with slide 1, I'm going to go to slide 2. Now, again, even when we looked at my slide earlier, then it was going really fast and I wasn't comfortable with that. So I get to change kind of what I want. So it's going to go from previous. I don't want it to go super fast. So I'm going to drag my slider over to the left. I'm going to change that. I'm going to press play. It'll go slower as it's sliding in and not so fast. So that's important. Play with when you're doing your object animations. How fast do you want it to go? Our slider helps us to figure that out. The same thing here. When I press play on my slide, Dream had asked me about a cube. Well, Dream, the slide transition is cube, okay? So when I go to pick my transition, let's say I want to take this transition off, okay? I'm going to take the transition all the way off so there's nothing on the slide. There's no circle icon that shows me that I have a transition. So Dream, this is specifically for you. I want to apply the transition slide. Transition is right here. You can also find it under slide with transition. So the 2 places you may see it is in the menu here where you'll see transition here. Or if you click the word slide, go down, you'll see transition. And we know it's a transition because it has kind of these little stacked circles on it. So I'm going to add a transition. Now, Dream, you said the cube or the square. This is the cube, C-U-B-E. I'm going to click cube. I don't like my stuff to go super fast because I'm just older and my eyes need time to adjust. So I kind of like my stuff to go in between slow and medium. Okay. So I'm going to press the play and we'll have it transition in. And so I like mine to come in after the transition of the previous slide. My next one here, I want to change my transition. I want it to fade in I want it to fade in here. I'm going to pick how fast or slow I would like to go and then press play, and I'll see it fade in. So you get to pick how fast or slow you want your transition to happen. You get to pick how fast or slow you want it to come in. I taught you guys earlier how to insert pictures. So let's say I'm creating a new slide. So I'm going to stop it. I'm going to press the plus button. I have a new slide here. So now I have sight, or I have my ears. I could have a slide that maybe says, I use my nose to smell. I can smell dinner cooking. Now, I told you you did not have to have 2 sentences. You can have 1. I just chose to put 2 because I want to be able to provide a better example for you guys. So when I want to insert a picture, I'm going to insert an image. I'm going to search from the web. And I'm going to type maybe nose, because I want to have my nose. I'm using my nose. My nose helps me smell. So let's find a really neat nose I want to use. And sometimes it takes a while to find the nose you want. Maybe I could say nose smelling something. So then I can have, oh, here we go. And I think Yair or someone has this picture. So I use my nose to smell. I'm inserting that picture. I'm going to need to size it to the space that I want it. So now I have my picture. And I have my animation, and then I'm going to insert another picture here because I want to have 2 pictures, and I'm going to have nose smelling dinner. Let's see if I can have one of a nose smelling something. So maybe I need to change my sentence because I can't have nose smelling dinner, so I can smell beautiful flowers. And then I'm going to change it again because, again, I want my pictures to match. So there. My pictures in, and that is how you add your pictures into your Google slide and how you change your thing. Now, I haven't put a transition on here yet. So the last thing I want to do after I get my picture to the size I want it is I want to give it a transition, because that was the focus that we were kind of learning something new to our presentations this week. And I want to add a slide transition. So this slide, I think I want it to do a flip. Again, I don't want it to go fast. I want it to go slow. And then I have my flip. So my slide has flipped in, and I have transitions on all of my slides. Now, you don't have to have them on all. This is just how I chose to do it. So hopefully this helped. And hopefully this kind of helps us get everything that we need. I'll post this recording in Class Dojo as well.